Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Is this actually a thing? Oh my god, I think it might actually be a thing. Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Taiji, and that was me just a moment ago reacting to a realization that I think I might have had regarding our shrine environmental puzzle. I decided to, a little bit before recording, officially recording, I had the cameras rolling, but I was wandering around the area just kind of mulling over these various environmental puzzles, trying to figure out what exactly am I looking for, and I think I might have figured it out in the case of the shrine. Let's see if this idea does pan out, because I think our shrine, I think the lily pads are showing us the grid that is meant to be used for the shrine. And we have, in fact, these little flowers in the water that are denoting our dots. I think that's the case. This feels like this lines up a little too closely for it not to be the case. Because I can see the lily pads now. There are some that are darker that are delineating the grid. So let's take some more screenshots. We love taking our screenshots to assist us in this eventual triumph over environmental puzzles. I believe we eventually will get there. I think we can align ourselves with this top row here. I'll just take an extra screenshot of this just to be sure. But it looks like I think we have 7 columns in the environmental puzzle at the start, and I'm going to say that this one is probably the first row as well. So let's see if we can get that all lined up here. Oops, that's not the way to go. Okay, this is going to be, I think, the process for the rest of the game, figuring out these environmental puzzles. It was a lot of fun last time. We got to roll credits. We got to, I guess, cross over into another puzzle dimension, which was very cool. I love the way that they did the final set of puzzles there, leading up to the credits, and so now I guess theoretically we are in post-game content, but in my mind, there's no such thing as post-game or optional. It's all in the game. You have to play it all, and that's what we're doing here. So the process, though, with figuring out these environmental puzzles is an ongoing one, because you've got to get your brain tuned into the right frequency. And for so many of these areas, you know, you're trying to see the forest through the trees, or the lily pads through the pond, or somehow this analogy is making sense in my mind, and whether or not it's translating to you all is another story. But we'll see if we can get this new realization and revelation down on a puzzle panel. Let's get our screenshots here once again that I just took. Let me get my viewer over onto this monitor, and we have 3 dots. We're going to use our marker technology here to tab me back to. First of all, tab me back to Taiji. Oh, there's only 4 rows. Okay, that does simplify things a little bit. I think there is a 3 dot on that square. And then I believe on the same row on the far side, we have a 2 dot square. And then looks like 1 column over and 2 rows down, we have a single dot. And then over from that, 2 rows down from here, we have also a single dot. So this should not be... Now, the dots are all the same color, so I feel like this should... I mean, gosh, there might be more to this than I'm realizing, because that feels a little too simple. That is too simple. So there are more things that need to be noticed, and as I'm looking at my screenshots... Oh, shit. I think... what I'm seeing in my screenshots is that there are also lights that are part of the pagoda, or the building there in the middle of the shrine. And the lights look like they are lined up. They're all the same color. And I see two of the dots that where we enter that are kind of at that diagonal that you would expect to see from a set of two dots. So if that's the case, it looks like we have one dot here for one of the lights, and then two columns over here in this square, there are two dots. And then the entrance is on the same row. It's on the bottom row. So it should be two there. Shouldn't it? Does that work? No. There's still something else within... There's still something else that we're looking for. But at least it does feel like we're on the right track finally. Let's go back. Let me go ahead and go back to the shrine. And we're gonna do a little bit more noodling there and see what we can realize. I do also have an idea for the mill. I think maybe I might have noticed something a little bit different in the mill that I want to see if that could lead us to a solution for that puzzle. But for now, let's see if we can quickly get back here to... It's still a little bit of a jog to get back to the appropriate areas that you want to go in this place. But now that we kind of know... See, here are the lights. Are there more lights around? So the building goes away when we walk up to that. I'm just wondering, are there other lights that are part of these other floors? Oh, shit. There is a 5 right smack dab in the middle. Interesting. It does look like it is smack dab in the middle column, second row. So there's a... Okay. So that definitely... I don't know if we have to account for the bonfire as well. And we're going to say that the bonfire is not part of this. For the sake of, well, simplicity. Just for simplicity's sake, let's take that screenshot there. But I think we can mentally note that that one is middle of the second row. And then we head back to the start. Okay, so I think the only one that we did not account for is basically this guy. Right? Do we... I mean, this should be possible to do. It should be possible to do. We could make the two for the two lights at the beginning could be made happy this way, and then we would just need to cleverly fill in the squares here. Well, I say just. We can potentially... I need to have a set of 5, don't I? And I feel like this kind of... if these lights here are in the correct place, the orange lights, that is, the 1 squares, then we kind of need... We need, like, this square and this square to be filled in? But that's really not possible, because this is a 2 here, is it not? This is 2 flowers out in the water. And that only works if I make it a negative space. That might work. No. Okay, so I need to somehow reassess what I'm doing here. Like, are these guys somehow not happy because they're not in the same room? This feels like I am not accounting. There's another set of dots maybe that I'm somehow missing. That's what it feels like. Or I've just badly miscounted somehow. That could be the case. It could be that I've put things in the wrong squares. Oh, yes, I'm very much being a dingus because this... Okay, I disconnected this from being a single square. This is a single right here. And somehow when I did this, I just forgot that that's no longer happy. Shit. How do I make... This is a 5 that's a different color from these single ones next to it. So they cannot be... They have to be reverse of each other. And I think the same... Well... I did initially build the 2 like this. Could I do this differently? To where I fill in this square and I instead allow the 5 to flow in this direction? I could maybe if it were like this, but now I've made, no, I could change that. So now I have 3 and 1, and there's a 5 there, 1 and 1. Now I just need to worry about, let's see. So this is a 2 here. I need to like disconnect this guy. And can I go back to doing that? No, I'm missing something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 1. Was it not a 3 and a 1 on this side? I felt pretty confident about that. And then we have 2 and 1 on the right. Oh boy. This feels like it should work. But clearly it's not, so... Okay, well, I'll take that as 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I might have to return to this then, because it really looks like I've got things lined up the way that they should be. There must be just some other symbol that I'm failing to account for. So let's go ahead and set that one aside for the moment, and maybe we'll return to that at the end of the episode. Give that one a little bit of the mini fresh brain treatment as opposed to the overnight fresh brain treatment. It might need both. It may eventually need the overnight fresh brain treatment. But the first thing that I want to explore, or sorry, the next thing I want to explore, I do eventually want to get back to the puzzles. There's a whole bunch of puzzles still to do behind the waterfall. But I did have an idea about the mill EP, because while our little idea of this yellow cable separating things didn't really pan out, and it does feel maybe a little bit too straightforward of a solution, but this clearly is a 6x3. These solar panels have to be involved somehow. Previously, I had thought about, because the mill is all about lines, right? And it does feel like each of these areas so far are, when it comes to their EP, like when we did the graveyard EP, it did use binary strings. You were counting an odd number of ones. When we're doing the shrine just now, we are incorporating dots. So it does feel like when we're dealing with the mill, we should be incorporating lines somehow. But the problem that I'm having is, where are those lines when it comes to this panel of 6? Can I zoom out here? Oh, it doesn't actually, So yeah, the thought that I had was maybe they want us to take a look at the 6x3 and then go into the underlying structure to see, well, there's part of, I don't know, these railings that are supposed to potentially line up with the panels. But I'm wondering now if it's not as complicated as that. Is it simpler? Because the thing that I noticed is that there is a very clear, we've got this red walkway, and that actually does look, it kind of looks like it lines up with some of these solar panels. Like, I think, now I'm not so sure. Because here, it does kind of look like this line of 3, this row of 3, pretty clearly lines up with this walkway. But then I'm not so sure about this bottom left. That bottom left, is it actually on the walkway, or does it have, well, even if you said that it has this railing going through it, like this railing here, it's kind of going through, a whole bunch of squares, isn't it? Like, that doesn't feel like a line puzzle, like that you have all of these here as having one line running through all of them. I really feel like, once again, I'm getting back into overcomplicated territory. And this initial little thought that I had earlier, just a few, like, you know, 20 or 30 minutes ago. Oh, it's the red walkway. The red walkway lines up with some of these solar panels. Now I'm doubting this. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm back to square one when it comes to the solar panels. There's got to be something that I'm just not seeing yet. It could be that I am hyper fixated on those solar panels, and they might just be a complete red herring. Because what we have found so far in other areas... Oh, this is actually an interesting detail that I hadn't seen before. There's some tetronymos here. I always say that... I often hear myself say that incorrectly. Tetrominos, I think, is correct. But either way, the Tetris pieces... There are Tetris pieces here that I hadn't noticed before. How many other spots in the mill are there? Just these subtle little clues. Yeah, look at the Tetris shapes. The subtle clues about how the puzzles here are meant to be solved. But I think I was going to say... Here's another one. This is a Tetris shape as well. So far, all of the environmental puzzles, once we have noticed the correct thing, they have felt like, oh, that's it, right? I haven't had to make some wild stretch of the imagination in order to come up with some overcomplicated solution. It's always been like, aha, now I see it. And it was really fun last time with the orchard. The orchard might have been the most fun realization of them all, just because it just instantly dawned on me, wait a second, I gotta be looking at the pavement. These other ones I'm hoping will get there, because I really am still completely stumped on the garden. And really 100% stumped when it comes to the mazy dance floors. So... like, it feels like this one, you're supposed to incorporate information from the entire island, just because the puzzle itself it has the same grid squares. It's like a 9x9, just like the overall map, except it's just missing a couple squares. So we'll leave the environmental puzzles on the sideline for now. I feel like we're close with the shrine, at least. We just need to think that one over a little bit more. Let's for now focus on just doing some I guess regular everyday puzzles. Bring ourselves back down to earth behind the waterfall, the puzzleception area, and see if we can get some more +1s to our puzzle count. I think we'll start here. This one is actually using all the shapes. All the symbols are being, the four main ones, I should say. The four main ones. And I think, yeah, the subtle little detail of bringing in, having a separate musical theme for each of the symbols that it kind of layers over, depending on what is present on the puzzle panel at that time, is such a cool touch. They're forcing quite a few squares here. We have one set of white diamonds that's going to have to be in an empty space. One set of white in a filled-in space. A black line. Oh, I see. The black line is going to have some sort of shape. Maybe the black lines connect to each other? The placement of the yellow diamonds is interesting because it does maybe, I guess the fact that we also have to fill in, yeah, this is, well, I could do something like this. Maybe, I'm not sure here. I was gonna say I might be able to do something like this where I actually don't think this is gonna work. Let me just see if this makes... Do we get individualized feedback on these? We do. If my idea what I was going to try was to do something like this. Now, this doesn't make the dots happy here, but I just want to see if, does this satisfy the black lines? It actually doesn't, because we're not really, this is not something, it might be symmetrical along this diagonal, but we don't, that's not how the black lines work. You need to be able to rotate. You need to have a point of rotation around which you can end up with the exact same shape. And that's not possible here, right? So that's not, that also fails for a number of other reasons. How do we approach this? What's the correct way to, we also have to, oh, wow. Okay, there's another constraint here. There's another constraint in that, oh, okay. I wonder, since there's only 2 black diamonds and they each are in different types of rooms, it almost, that kind of feels like what they want us to do is connect one line. They want us to pair the diamonds, the black diamonds, with the black lines, I think. But we just have one of them that's in a, one of them is going to be in a filled in room and the other is going to be in an empty space room. So you could do one of them that would look like, this one down here might look like this. Well, the problem with that is, how do we get this white diamond paired with this white diamond? This could be very tricky. Can I pair? I don't think I can pair the black diamonds with any of the shrine dots because they're too far away. Are they not? Maybe if I think they're too far away. I think it's going to be too many dots in a room. I think, man, is that true? Let's see if we can logic that out to be certain. The one for sure couldn't be paired, right? Because it's like, even if it was right next to it, you could not pair these together because then you have 2 squares in the room for the 1 dot. So that's out of the question. And I think by similar logic, the fact that the 2 is 1 square further removed, you'd have to be building a room that's at least 4 to get to it. If we went like this would be at least 4, and then you only have 3. Can't bring in the 2 without adding 2 more. That's still more squares than you have. If I go this way, that's also 4. I don't think it's possible. The 3 is way too far away. The 2 down here is way too far away. So I think by necessity, I do have to pair this black diamond with this black line. Okay. So there has to be a route that gets here somehow. But then that also means that we have to do... I think we are going to need to build a very Taiji solution on this board. And if that's the case, I think that's going to mean that we're going to have to bring in one of these white diamonds into this space. We could probably do this. This is probably doable if we build around... I think what they are ultimately wanting us to arrive at is maybe a situation like... The problem is there's a 3 here, and there's a 2 here. No, that might be okay. That might be okay, because we can do something different on each of these. We can go... Let's just start with this. Let's start with this here and see if we... The only little curveball here is that we do need to make this one match. Correct? How would we... Because eventually as well, we need to touch this guy. That's the other thing. Could we do it like this? If we did that, we would really need to be building this same shape that comes out in this direction. It would need to look like this. No, not like that. It would need to look more like this. Okay, so that's a problem because now I'm overlapping these. I need to be doing something like... This needs to instead... What if this were to come this way? So this would look like... This is going to get a little bit screwy, isn't it? This is going to get tricky. I already feel like my brain is a little bit overloaded, my goodness. What do these other ones look like? These are also similarly, these, I don't know, these might be a little too big brain for me at the moment. Because, let me try to recenter myself here. Let me try to... If we're doing this... Because we need an empty space to come out this way, right? But we also need these to be filled in. It could be that maybe these are supposed to be like this. Something like that. That might make more sense. That would actually make infinitely more sense, I might say. If that is the case, could I do... I would need, in order to match... Could I do... how am I going to handle this 2 down here? This 2 is a little bit on the tricky side. I could go like that. Does that match this 2? That might match that 2. Okay. All right, now this is starting to feel closer to what we need. We would need a corresponding spot like this to account for these. Okay, this is starting to... the flow... I'm starting to align with the flow, I think. Use the flow, Luke. It's not quite there, but I feel like we're this empty space doesn't connect. Can I... Oh, crap. But it's not like that square, it's this square. That's what it is. Does that work? Oh my god! I felt so far away for just a second. It's almost... there is a corollary, I think, between a difficult Souls boss, where one attempt you can just feel so lost and so far away from actually beating the dang thing, but then the next attempt just absolutely falls directly into line. It's just about getting those synapses to all fire in the right order and be on the same page. Just calm down, focus in, control what you can control. That's why we love the puzzle solving process. So good, and this game is amazing. We have a lot of subtraction going on. And there is, okay, at first I didn't see this square in the center, and I thought, we're subtracting a whole lot from nothing. Turns out we do have something to subtract from. Does this account for 9 other subtractor dots? It does. So we just need to make sure that these all end up in the same room together. Okay, easy enough, right? Simple, easy baby game. They're forcing this 1 square here. That's such a interesting requirement. Are we wanting to pair off the black diamonds in a way like this? We could do this. We could do... All right, this doesn't quite work here. At least for... Well, it could work. It could work if we said that this is a filled-in square for the purposes of this flower. Because then these are the 3 yellow petals. And then we could, fill in those squares for the purple flowers. That would work. That would be fine. The alternative would be to do this. And I like that alternative, because now that is starting to... Okay, here's the wrinkle, or here's a potential issue. When it comes to pairing these black diamonds, do they care about the black dots at all? Or because we're doing the negative space thing, do they just not exist? They're not quite happy with that. Crap. That kind of mean, I think that means we need to reverse everything. I also didn't account for this one here, but I think that is a small... Oh crap, there's another problem, isn't there? Because these yellow... these guys care about these flowers. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's get a hydrate. The brain needs it. These puzzles are so good. We might need... Oh my gosh. So I think what they're saying is I actually do need to fill in all of these shrine dots because they're the same color as these diamonds. And these are not going to be happy until we separate them. Now, could I just invert the entire board? Inverting the entire board wouldn't be good enough because I still have the problem with these yellow flowers and the yellow diamonds. So could I instead try to connect? Could I, before I try to flip the board, if I ignored all of the shrine dots and the black diamonds for the moment, could I make these yellow diamonds happy given the current... Could I just adjust our current configuration just to make them happy? Is that possible? I'm not sure because I sort of have them connected through this empty room here. Do I need to rearrange what dots are paired with what? Does it need to be... I wonder if instead I'm supposed to do... Like this dot here could be paired... I could take the yellow diamond and pair it with this yellow flower, and then I could do like this. And then this one here might be paired like this. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch that's not happy, but I just want to test these rooms that I started to connect together. We could make... A lot of these flowers and also the yellow diamonds could be made happy in this kind of a situation. This feels much closer. Much, much closer. But it still needs a lot of work because of the fact that we need to have... So let's see if we can apply. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, but I'm not sure how helpful it's going to be. I think we're going to reset the puzzle at this point and start from the fact that I think based on our logic here, the understanding that I have of the black diamonds, they're just not going to be happy with any situation where like these subtractor dots don't cease to exist just because they made themselves happy by creating a zero-sum space. They still exist on the board for the purposes of a black diamond, from what we just saw. And so in order to ever make this guy happy, these have to be in a filled-in space, correct? And it kind of means that all the black diamonds have to be in their own empty spaces, I think. So let's see, with that in mind, if we can start to fill in, if that logic is correct, which we may need to re-examine it, but we know that would have to happen to make the purple flowers happy. And similarly, we would have to have this square filled in. And I think since we're deciding that all the black squares, I take that back. There could be some rooms. Well, maybe not. I was going to say, theoretically, you could have some rooms with black diamonds that are in filled spaces. They would just not have to intersect the room that has the zero-sum space with the shrine dots. But that may not be possible given this board arrangement, so I don't know. Let's, for the moment, assume that the black diamonds are going to be in empty spaces somehow. That would make this square have to be filled in for the 3 yellow petals on that flower. And then here, I don't know for sure about this flower yet, because it's happy the way it is right now. We just need to figure out how to also make the yellow diamonds happy. Let's start trying to connect. It would make a lot of sense if we were to do this, as well as this and this. Oh, this is actually starting to... I'm liking the way that this is lining up. I think we're actually going to want to do this, because that really helps to connect things. And then we just need to figure out a way to connect things. I think we do it like this. We come around this way. And that's how we get that room connected. We also have to do this to connect that dot there. Are the shrine dots happy now? I think they are. And are all the flowers happy? I think they might be. And I think the only little problem here is this yellow diamond is going to complain because there's 2 yellow flowers in this space. I feel like that's the only thing. That's the only thing on this board that is unhappy. Gosh darn it. Can I do... Crap, because it's between these black diamonds, I kind of need it to be in a filled-in space. Can I... Shit. But maybe I could go like this instead? No, but then these black diamonds are cut off from each other. I can't cut the board off that way. What if I did... I think it kind of needs to be like this. If I do this, how am I ever... No, I don't think that works. That doesn't work. But how can I cleverly adjust things so this is only paired with maybe this? We need to take this. We need to like rotate somehow to get this yellow flower out of... Crap, man, it was so close. The alternative... No, there's no alternative. I was going to say, could I try to find a way to put the yellow diamonds in an empty space together? But if I do that, that means I'm connecting these black diamonds. I would have to go like this, but then how do I actually get the yellow diamond to be connected? I don't think it works. This feels like we're so close. What can I do? What can I do? I need to take one of these yellow flowers and put it into an empty space. But I don't think I can do that with this one. I think this one has to be in a filled-in space. This is the only one that maybe conceivably could be empty. But even that, I don't think I can make work. Because then that just floods this room. Unless I go like this. But now I'm cutting off this black diamond. This black diamond has to be connected here. Oh my god, this is annoying. I hate to set it down, but I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to come back to that one. Oh, that's one of those that's just so tantalizingly, frustratingly close. These are toughies. It might be smarter for us to just say that, hey, wait a second. Those might not be the easy puzzles. Let's maybe try to find a much smaller board to build our confidence back up. That, I think, is probably a smart move. This board feels like we've got to do something like this, and then something like that, and then maybe something like... Ooh, actually, how do we do this? Always famous last words. Go to this. Go to the one that has few squares. That'll be simple. That'll be easy. With the fact that you've got the one... Oh, I'm screwing this up. That's what's wrong. That's why we're having trouble with the puzzles, guys, because I'm screwing it up. The single yellow petal there, I was misreading these corners as 2 yellow petals. That would be a little bit more difficult to do, I think. So we just need to do 1 petal. 1 petal. So does that mean that we want these... How do we pair the white diamonds while also doing a single petal? Are we doing it... So with the 2... Let's see. We could connect... You could have a room like this, I suppose. Is that what they want us to do? Does that just work? That just works. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a Taiji solution too. Okay. Okay. One step at a time. One breath at a time. And we will figure it out. Wait a second. Wait. In order to... Let me see if I get the requirements straight here. So if this... The 4 yellow here means that whatever I do with this square has to be mirrored in the cardinal directions. 4 yellow petals. And then that by necessity means that these purple flowers need to be empty. And their petals need to be filled in. Right? Okay. But... How do I... the way I solve that then is by bringing around this room so that the purple diamonds connect. That's the answer. Use the empty space that they give you. Use the... Maybe that's the problem on the previous puzzle. We need to be using the empty space somehow a little more cleverly. So what are we pairing each of the yellow and the purple diamond with? Let's presume that the 4 purple in the corner for the moment is empty. That would make these 2 have to be filled. And then let's say that this is the status of that flower. That would make us, that would be the pair for the... I mean, we could just do this. The problem is now the white diamonds are separated. So we have to do something like this. No, that doesn't make that flower happy. If I go like this, then I could do... That? No. This one could be empty. I don't have to fill that one necessarily. Because we could pair like this. That might be the pair they want us to make. Then the whites aren't connected. And then there's too many petals here. These have to stay filled to make the purple flower in the corner happy. So that means that these kind of have to stay... If those stay empty like that, then how can I connect these white diamonds? Use the empty space? Problem is the purple... Oh, that's not a problem, is it? That's actually not a problem. They can share. Polyamorous. The purple and the yellow can both be made happy by our polyamorous flower over here. That's how that works. And that's also a very Taiji solution. Okay, this game is really good, even though sometimes it does make me feel like a dingus. These, okay. I want to say that the game is probably not going to ask us to look for environmental puzzle solutions down here, but we shouldn't like 100% rule that out. But I also don't want to get sidetracked thinking about environmental puzzles at the moment. Let's keep working in this direction. Just lines that we'll worry about for this particular moment in time. Lines that are, they're giving us a setup at least. They are setting up what we are allowed to do and may want to do when it comes to the... How do we arrange this so we have a room for both the black lines and the white lines? How do we make this happen? Could do this. This might be the way. Now, I don't want to do... I can't add something here unless I maybe take this away. I would have to take something there away. And now I would need to be... yeah. I could do this. I could do that, potentially. There's just a little bit of a... But then that maybe works. Let's go. All right. There's an empty space room down here that we've got to make, and there's a positive space that we've got to make up here. And together, those are going to be at least a T. So these here... I don't know if this one's going to be filled in and this one's going to be empty, but I think they're going to be opposite. Like these are opposite. If I fill in this T here, that does mean I'm filling that in. And it would mean that, like, maybe it's going to be a plus shape. That could make a lot of sense. Plus shapes feel like they play nicely on Taiji boards because you can always just fill in the diagonals to make things work out so smoothly. I'm a fan of that one. So can we extend that? Now here we're dealing with slanted lines. So we get to do rotations where they would be useful to do so. Not like that. That's not quite good enough. We could potentially just do a single 1x1 room for the black lines, maybe. But also maybe not. We might want to do something like this, but the problem here is these do have to be unique. So this is not going to be unique between the colors. I need to do something different. There's a lot of empty space on this side of the board for us to play with. It could be that we want to do something like... If we go that... I don't know if we want to go that far. Could we do this? Same issue as before, though, because now I've got the black lines are doing a similar thing. Oh, also I didn't completely segment off. I don't think I can do a 2x2. A 2x2 square is going to have the same problem because you always have one of the lines in a corner. If I did a 2x2 for both black and white is what I'm saying. That would also not work because then they're not in a distinct alignment or arrangement. There's only so many types of shapes that you could do. What about a 2x3? I don't think that works either. Because if I do... Like, if I did this for... I could do this for these two white lines and they would be happy with that if I did that over here, but then how do I make the black lines happy? It won't work. Also, I've included a black line in just the same way as I have the white lines. Oh, actually, they're not the same, are they? Because again, we can't mirror things. I have to be able to rotate them. We might have already tried this, but I had thought, I feel like that would make a lot of sense to do, like that would make those two black lines happy, and we could probably do an empty space for this black line somehow. But then how are we dealing with the white lines? How do we make a space where they're happy? Unless they're supposed to be in single, I don't think I could make them their own single white squares. This is a tricky one. Let's come back to it. We're gonna have several of these to clean up eventually. Now, this is a very limited board here. Let's maybe, before we get onto this next set, let's try a snaky, mazy dance floor. That feels like a good change of pace. Could we? I think the rule we've determined before is that you have to build these boards such that you are not walking on the lines. In order for them to be happy, you have to make it so that they are not being, you can't cross onto a white line, at least maybe if they're diagonal or yeah, diagonal lines might be might have that option. But I don't think we can do that in the case of regular horizontal lines, at least on most board configurations. Now, yeah, the idea that I had was to, I had this idea to, okay, I think I see what I need to do here. I think I need to start over on this side, because what I want to do eventually is come back here like this to make this the final room for this blue line. And I think we can do that for the other. I think we can do this if we go like this. And we, oh, but there's a slight issue. But we can fix that issue because we slightly shift the position of the rooms to go like this. No, but that doesn't work either. Do I need to make them, maybe I just make it a single, maybe I simply, oh man, this is arranged in just a slightly annoying spot. A slightly, oh gosh. This is tricky. This is tricky. How do I do this? How do I do this? Do I want to go like this? Come around this guy, but then, okay, I could start here. I could start here like this, I think. And then that works. I just needed to find the spot where everything, you have to, there's a different type of logic when you're playing the snake game that you have to use, and we got there. Now we'll take on this board, because there has to be a way to do this. I mean, there's always a way to do all of them, right? There's always a way. This, I think, is a bare minimum. Because I don't think we can't put the black lines together. So this at a bare minimum has to happen. And we could also, the white line, it's just a single white line. So isn't it going to be happy no matter where it is? The problem would be, yeah, it's not going to be happy no matter where it is because it still has to be in a distinct space compared to the black lines. We could do this. It is in I shouldn't say distinct space, a distinct arrangement, right? Because now it's in the same space as this black line, but it is in a different part of the, yeah, it's in a different corner of the 2x2s, and that's fine. That's how lines work. And I think a similar logic is going to apply here by doing this. Not quite. We need to be able to rotate. So it's, well, but then that's not gonna quite work. Do I need to do... Okay, how do we do this? That feels very good for solving the black lines. But now, maybe it needs to be more like this? No. No, but I can't do that because I don't have enough room for this white line over here. These are tricky. On such a small board as well. Could I do that? No. Because then the black is not in a corner. What the hell? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do these need to go together? Was it as simple as that? Okay. Overthinking it. First time that's happened in this game, guys. What are we doing here? What are we required to do? Could we be making let's see. The position of this. Okay, we could do... They are giving us a very specific requirement here. So I could make a T shape. Or I don't know if I have to. Maybe I don't have to make a T shape. But I think... So, let's see. Maybe it's not a T shape. Maybe it's more like... Something like... If I do... Something more like this would probably make sense. So now... That works. Okay. Okay. Finding the right flow. Gotta be embracing the... What's the flow? I think that's the... It's like the Occam's razor rule of Taiji. If that makes any sense. Is it like so often where I screw up is when I'm trying to completely overcomplicate things. Instead of just sort of easing off my constricted thinking and or trying to be too rigid or logical and just backing off and saying what kind of feels like a good solution. What would they want us to do? How would they want us to flow? Like right here, we kind of need to do something like this. I see. Interesting. Let's try this. Let's start this over. The position of the black lines is pretty interesting because it kind of means that I need to fill these in, don't I? In order to, I've got a space here, these squares that need to be empty for this black line to be happy, which means that oh wait, no, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. It's these squares up here that would need to be filled in. Oopsie. So then I could fill in like this. And then like this. So this is, I feel like we've done something similar to this before. We've had similar line puzzles that have this crisscross arrangement that you need to satisfy. That almost feels like an exact replica of one of the ones we did way back in the mill. The initial panels that were getting us up to speed on lines. Okay, all right, we've got, oh, just one No, no, no. This is going to be part of a sequence, isn't it? Isn't it? Maybe not. Once again, there are several panels here that have these colored borders to them, and I have not noticed any pattern yet on these. It feels like it's significant, but I haven't made any sense as to how they might be significant. All I know is that there are so many silhouetted faces all over the place. The big panels are very intimidating today. I'm not, I'm feeling a little bit scared trying to approach those. Okay, let's go back then. I thought maybe we had a sequence of panels that were going to lead up to this, but it's been a long time since we did one of these. Also, our character is kind of hiding behind this tree. It's been a while since we've done these, and this was I feel like these puzzles that are, I don't know what we call these. Are they the vanilla Taiji puzzles? But you have both, you have vanilla and chocolate to deal with, right? You have yin and yang. Whatever flavor of ice cream we're dealing with here, I don't think we ever nailed down like a definitive set of rules when it comes to these. I think we were just kind of going with the flow. I felt like maybe I had developed some semblance of rules, but I don't remember what those were now. I mean, this one feels like it should go like this. Okay. That's what it is. It's like, just take the pattern they're giving you and just do what feels right. As I've said before, my logical brain does find that sort of thought unsettling. But again, it's just because I don't completely understand the rule set, right? They're taking that very vague sounding statement of do what feels right, probably has a definitive rule set that's associated with it. And I just am failing my vocabulary or my understanding of this rule set is such to where taking this and extending it to this, it might look obvious once you know what the solution is and you know what you're supposed to kind of do in Tai Chi, make things line up in some symmetrical yin-yang fashion. There's probably a definitive rule set that actually says, oh, here is the step-by-step algorithm that goes from what you see on the left to the ultimate solution. Let's just move on to the next puzzle panel, and we'll just, hey, we got a +1. We take it. This one feels like it shouldn't be terrible because there are these blue dots that I kind of get the sense we're going to connect together. We also are going to need to connect. Yeah, we've got some. Oh, we've just got the one subtractor dot. Oh, that's, huh. The one subtractor dot. And we also need to have this black diamond here paired with this black diamond. There's no other black element with which it could pair. So, I don't know. We could do that to make that 3 happy. We could make that 1 happy. And then we could say something like this. So we have this 4 in the corner that's actually happy. We do also have to connect this red with this red, which we could just do like this. This is feeling closer to a solution, but let's see here. We still need to satisfy the blue dots, and I have 10 of them, but I have way more than 10 squares here. So we need to... How do I segment this without... I can't cut off this black... This black diamond has to touch this guy. And, does that mean that... So, logically here, let's see. This, there has to be at least one empty one empty square next to this black diamond in order to be able to connect it here. I'm just trying to say, can I put a restriction on this? Is this one definitely by itself? Or could it be, or would it make more sense for it to be connected like this? I feel like that screws up my diamonds, though. My yellow diamonds over here. But then how am I... This 4 in the corner here is correct. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's so many here to consider. Could it be that this subtractor dot is meant for this one somehow? Am I supposed to do that? And maybe it's supposed to go... How is this supposed to work here? I think one of the things I'm struggling with today is being able to break down these puzzles into the appropriate sub-problems. Ultimately, that's how any puzzle is solved. Any complicated puzzle like this is you have to be able to break down something in... You have to break it down into a very approachable portion. And I'm noticing that I'm getting to a stage in so many of these panels where I'm trying to juggle, you know, too many pieces at once instead of focusing on what has to happen for one small set of them. How can I do that here? Like, could I do this instead? Would this make more sense? If I do that, how is that changing things? I still need to somehow make a room for... like this 3 in the corner. Oh, but then I'm forgetting that this red piece needs to connect somehow. How am I making a room that makes these different? I think I'm gonna do a reset. Let's not reset just yet. This this blue 3 over here. If it is next to, it's behind this black and red diamond. And because of that, we know that the red diamond has to be filled, and the black diamond, of course, is forced to be empty, right? Those two things are happening. And so that kind of does mean, I think... I mean, if it means that the blue dots are supposed to be filled in, I'm not sure exactly how I make that work with a room that has to go... like, it has so much ground to cover, unless the ground that it's covering is actually like this. Maybe this is the mistake that I was making, is that I was thinking that the blue actually needs to be included like... this is still a little bit dicey. Because how am I connecting? I would need to maybe go like this. I feel like I'm still getting so many blue squares in the mix here that just, this is gonna make this impossible. Because I'm trying to do this business. And ultimately, I still, like, I need to get this subtractor the subtractor has to be happy somehow. If it's not subtracting, it's not happy. So it can be made happy by, except it's not happy in this case. Wait, why is it not happy here? Should it not be subtracting the 1 dot here? And why is this complaining? Is it not connected? They're connected in the same room. Okay, that's throwing a wrinkle into this that I had not expected. Why are those not happy? I still haven't solved the problem of these yellow diamonds being unhappy. We are running into several panels here that I'm just having a little bit of an issue with. Maybe that's what the red outline is for. It's like, stop, do not approach. This one is trickier than you think. We're gonna come back. We've got a lot of puzzles still to solve, so let's not get hung up on any one particular one just yet. Let's just keep moving forward and work with fresh brain at a later date. Okay, I think we can actually rule this out, can't we? If I'm filling in this yellow flower here, then that means I need 4 petals, but now I have a space of 5. Sorry, actually a space of 6 for this yellow set of dots here. So I think, oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it might work. I take that back because there's other yellow dots. There's other yellow dots. This could totally work. Let's not rule that out so quickly. Let's maybe go, what we could rule out, we might be able to rule out this 4 purple flower, I think has to be filled in. Because if I leave it empty, that means this has to happen, and now my white diamond over here is isolated. So that is a constraint we can put on things. And I think we can similarly put the constraint that this yellow flower also has to be filled in, because if it's not, there's 4 empty petals around it, and therefore this black diamond is isolated. So we need to build this in a way. How many total yellow dots do I have? I have 16. That's quite a bit. So I could maybe go like this. How many do I have? I have not quite 16 purples. I have 15 purples. This board is a 6x6, 36 total. I've got some wiggle room. There's some dots or some squares that are not going to be in a room with shrine dots. I was thinking maybe we do something like, so we have, let's see, this is, I need to do 16 total, right? So this is 7 and then 11. So I could do this to make 15 and then 16. So I think those are happy. Now we just need to partition this room up here in a way that makes these guys happy, while also not disconnecting us from... So if it's 36, I basically need to fill in 5. Is that true? I need to fill in 5? That's not enough. I need to do more than that, because right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I need to account for 2 more. But if I could probably do, let's see, I could do 1 there. But that would mean I would need to remove 1 from here somewhere, which I could do that. That would work, wouldn't it? But I still need to account for... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, that works. That works. Okay. Woo, finally. Finally, another +1. We've been getting +1s all episode, but there have been some setbacks that feel like more setbacks than normal. So it's been a mixed bag, but that is to be expected. We're dealing with the later stages of a tricky puzzle game. Well, this is a very fun symmetry layout here. I'm wondering how we might be able to do this. There are 9 squares. We have to eventually get, let's see. Is it as simple as that? Do we just do that same thing for each of these? And that's our Taiji solution? That has to be, doesn't it? That has, like, that board, see, this is how I wish all the puzzles were, because there are some of these that there's no other way. There's no other possible way that you could set things up. And I love those. They're my favorite. Okay, I am actually going to just switch gears temporarily, because I am curious to try out these dance floor dot puzzles, just to give us a little bit of a change of pace. This one we'll start with, since we have to start at this square. And there's really only so many ways that you could do this one, I think. I don't think we want to go like this, because that's going to create several problems, I think. I think we kind of need to go to the right. And then do this. Okay. Another one that kind of could only be done one way. Now, this is a completely different ball game, because now we have to fill in the squares around the singleton dots. Do I start here and work my way around? I think so. That one's not too bad. Okay. Something similar here, where we go like this. I need to account for this square in the middle. Maybe that's where I start. And just go like this. Okay, these are not too bad. I like these. Now this one, how many dots are there? 5, 7, 11, 13. And we're on a 16 square board, but there's 2 in the middle that we can't. So there's 14 walkable squares, and one of them that has to be not filled in. Okay. So where do we start? Where do we start? Here? Okay. I needed some layups. I needed some easy wins to get that confidence level on the rise. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that guy. Let's go to the smaller. I know the smaller panels we always approach with still a bit of caution, but they still just feel so much less intimidating than the bigger panels, usually. So we have a single subtractor dot that is going to have to go with the bigger set of 8 shrine dots. So that's going to make a room of 7, which could look something like this. And then you could have an empty room up here. That's 7, 5, and 7. So we could have, like, they might, I don't think they can actually, they actually both can't. Oh, no. We might want this one. We might want it like this. We might actually want both of these filled in. Could be. Ah, because... Well, hold on. If I could also do this. Couldn't I? And I could similarly do this. So now I have a situation where I'm bringing in alternate colored... Oh, actually, this would make more sense, I think. And now I just do that. Yes! Let's go. The alternate colored diamonds that don't give a crap about the shrine dots that don't match their color. Okay. A little bit the yellow and cyan coloring here, alternate coloring, versus our normal white, black, yin-yang coloring. I'll take it. So these, the 5 shrine dots are going to go in separate rooms. And those could look like... How would those look? We have to pair off... Oh. They are yellow dots, and so they can be paired with the yellow diamonds. Not sure if they... Well, no, they would have to be paired with at least one, wouldn't they? Okay, so that does limit things for us. Do we go like... Let's see, this has to be in a room of 5. It might make more sense to go like this, and then have something like this. Or... How do you do this? While also not pissing everybody off. It's an this is a there should be a flow-like solution, but it's not coming to me immediately. Because if you crisscross these in a funky way, then you're cutting off some diamonds from each other. There's let's see. Like, are we forced to pair the diamonds? Are we forced to do so? I mean, yes, we're forced to pair diamonds. Are we forced to pair any of the diamonds with the yellow dots? Does that actually make sense? Actually, no. My logic was not correct on this because there's only 3 pairs. There's only 3. Hold on a second. Hold on. If I guess it could be either or. You could have diamonds that are paired off. If I take away 1 diamond to put with a... Wait a minute. Am I a dingus? No, I can't do this though because that's not 5 squares. But am I close? Am I close? I want to be close. I want to be close. It feels like it's so close. But if I do this, then this is connected. And if I do that, I've got too many diamonds in here with this. Ugh. We're coming back to this one too. This is the come back later puzzle day. This is the theme. We might have found a title for this episode. Come back later. It works too well. This is also a bit strange because the four in the corner if I'm 4 in the corner, how am I doing this while also not unfairly dividing diamonds? I have to go like this, wouldn't I? I'd have to do something like that. So then I would have to do something like this. Okay. Okay. Go with the flow. Just can't find the flow on every puzzle. That's the only problem. That would be nice if I could make that T shape here. Can't quite make that T shape. But I could make... I don't think I can actually do that. So, do I want to instead do... I don't... What if I do this? If I do that... That's possible. Because I do have room to extend this way. Could I just do this? Yes? No, I don't have enough squares. But I can go like that. Maybe. I'm just a little bit off. That. Sometimes they click. And we just take the ones that click, and then we hope on another day the others click. And we'll get all the clicks. One way or the other. Single... The singles could be just singles. They don't necessarily have to go with the 5s. If that's the case, then what space do the 5s take up? It can't take up the same space, but I could do this. You could have a space like this. And then this one could be something similar, actually, right? Just do the same thing on this side. Just flow in reverse. Take the flow. It's not even flow in reverse. This is just Taiji. Just do the yin-yang thing. Are we down to... we're down to, I guess, this last big set of panels. Or the set of big panels. And we also have the remainder of... the puzzles that were stumpers for us previously. I think what I'm going to do for the remainder of my time, though, is I'm going to try once more. We're going to give a look, put a pause on the rest of the puzzles here in this section, and give one more look at the Shrine EP, because it really felt like we were close. And now maybe is the time, having cleared or cleaned the slate, to give another look. What were we missing? So it does feel pretty... I see it now. Of course, I see exactly what we were missing. There are 3 lights right here. Right there. And that's part of our puzzle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a part. Did I not... That might not have made it into my screenshot. The one downside... hold on, that's not the right button that I pressed. Hopefully I didn't screw up my video recording there. I pressed the print screen instead of F12, which is there's our screenshot key for Steam. And I think now, if we just look around one more time to be sure, did I leave out any other potential dots on the extremes? Now, can we factor that into our overall thinking? Let's head back to the start, see if we can nail this one down. So I might need to look at my screenshot one more time to be sure. Let's confirm that. I mean, it would have to be in this corner, wouldn't it? It would have to be in that very bottom left corner. Yeah, and it's because it's right next to... Okay, so if we need a 3 here, but we also have a 3 here, the 3 here in the corner is the same color as... It's the same color as the rest of the... Well, not the rest of the lights. There is the 5 purple lights that are here in the center. Yeah, this does significantly change things. How do we account for this 3 while also not stomping all over this single dot here? It kind of implies that this kind of needs to happen. But I also don't want to go too far into the room. Like, now I've made this room too big in the middle for the 5. I mean, gosh, the 5 dots have to exist, right? That's gotta be, that's too conspicuous of an arrangement. I was thinking for a second, like, what if we're only supposed to pay attention to the lily pads and the yellow lights? I don't think so. We could see, right? We could find out what happens if we solve the puzzle, because that would probably not be the hardest thing to do. We just would need to do... These need to be single dots here. This needs to be 2. This is 1. This is 2. I mean, does it just... No, we still need to make 3 here. Do these need to be empty? And we would go like this. We would go like this around them. This guy starts to get screwed up, though. Maybe I need to restart. Maybe we start from square one. Because, man. Yeah, let's start from square one. Let's start from square one and try to... We've marked the squares... Well, this one is the one we haven't marked. We also know that there is a... maybe I should double check this to be sure. Let me maybe just look at my screenshots one more time. That sure feels like there's supposed to be 5 purples in the very center. And then you've got the single ones to the side of that. That certainly feels in the spirit of things. I think we've got the correct squares marked. This one is its own color. These here are... Is it possible, if these are really 5 dots here in the center, and these are single dots to the side, could we make a shape? And I think the single dots they're the same color as this. And they're the same color as this. And the same color as this. These are all the same style and color of lights. I don't think we can connect any of those together. They're separated enough. This is just a 2 right here. I can't connect that to any one of the singleton dots. I suppose it could look like this. Maybe this is on the right track. No, but I have a bit of a... Yeah, I'm starting to break down too many sub-problems. Too many sub-problems. We've got to focus in on one section of the board that can constrain things for us in a positive way. And that feels like this. So maybe we can start here. We kind of know that these 2 squares have to be opposites of each other. They either... There's a pink flower dot here in the water, and then there's the 3 yellow light dots. They actually look just like these lights here, don't they? There's 3 here, and they kind of have to be different from this one, which, I mean, doesn't that require that that room has to look like this? Because it can't go this direction, because then it's overlapping with the lily pad or flower dots that are up here. I think that room has to exist. And if it does, that kind of means that this has to exist in order to make that single pink happy. Now it feels like we're kind of on the right track. I think similarly, by similar logic, we'd have to fill in these single dots here, because I can't, this one here, I can't fill in, because then all of a sudden that screws up this room. And so if that is not filled in, that means this one has to be filled in order for the 4 cardinal directions around it to be not filled in. Because I think we've determined that I can't connect this singleton dot to anything else. Certainly what it feels like so far. So now, does this, well, now I might be running into a problem. There might be a very significant flaw in my overall logic here, because what is that flaw? That flaw could be, there's supposed to be 2 yellow dots here, right? Okay, maybe the flaw is not, maybe the flaw is, maybe there is no flaw. Maybe this is the room for the 2. I was thinking that it had to be an empty room somewhere in this direction, and I was feeling like that was going to get screwed up with my 5 here. I'm wondering if maybe that would be the room for the 5? Is it supposed, is this the flow solution they're wanting me to do? We could theoretically connect these dots here, could we not? Does that make everything happy? It does not. Oh, because I accidentally filled that in. Could I go like that? Let's fucking go. Holy moly. That's another EP solve. And that is where we will wrap up this installment of Taiji. If you did enjoy the video, please consider hitting that like button to share it with others like you who might also enjoy it. This episode, my goodness, the puzzles are tough. We're in the end of the game. I shouldn't expect any less, but we are certainly getting a run for our money here. We're gonna try to keep putting together all the pieces. There are these EPs in these remaining sections. It's gonna take a lot of mulling over. I'm gonna do my best to capture any reactions and ultimate epiphanies that I do have, because I don't want to miss moments like we had with the orchard, or even just earlier today with the shrine. But I do think that it's gonna take a lot of mulling over some of these areas, and I may not be able to do it necessarily all in my normal sitting down to record an episode. So we'll see how we proceed through the rest of the game. But there's still a lot of just regular normal puzzle panels to do in the underground area. So lots more still to do, and we will keep pressing forward 1+1 panel at a time, and hopefully get an epiphany on some solar panels eventually. Eventually, I've got to see, there's got to be something here that I'm just overlooking, as is probably the case in every puzzle that we haven't solved yet. So, yeah, thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.